Hahn-Tech Premium Trading Tools, professional quality tools designed to sharpen your edges. Hi guys, welcome to the demo video for Hahn-Tech's Thinkorswim Volume Profile Premium Indicator version 4. Yes, this is the fourth update to our very popular Volume Profile Indicator, which was first published in 2016. Those who have purchased previous versions of this indicator are getting the upgrade free of charge. And check your inbox for an email from me. At the publishing of this video, I sent those emails out with links to a special form in which you can submit a request to receive your free upgrade. You'll also have an opportunity to purchase the companion study that I'm introducing for TPO Profile, the TPO being the time price opportunity. So guys, just give me about 3 minutes at the beginning of this video to show you what this baby can do. And then if you like what you see, then I assure you that the rest of the video and the videos in this series will be very helpful. But first I want to go ahead and get the disclaimer out of the way here. This is our financial investment disclaimer. The contents of this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended to serve as financial or investment advice. Furthermore, the presenter of this video is not making any recommendations or solicitations to buy or sell any particular financial instrument. The past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that any individual will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to any discussed here. Operating in the financial markets entails risks. Many investment choices include risks which may exceed the amount of cash you have deposited in your brokerage or retirement account. Each viewer of this video is responsible for understanding the risks involved when making their own investment choices. All right, so now we've got that out of the way, and the first thing I want to do is show you a demonstration of what's included in this indicator and what it is capable of. So for that, we're going to go to a slideshow here, and we're going to explain that what we have with this indicator are support and resistance levels, which consist of either a volume profile or a TPO profile, depending on which indicator you purchase or use on your charts. As well, we are including pivot points, R2 and S2 as support and resistance levels, and also higher time frame moving averages. Now you get to select the higher time frame that is applied for the pivots and the moving averages. You also get to select the time span used to compute the volume and or TPO profile. And again, TPO stands for time price opportunity. It is basically the same thing as the volume profile, except it does not use volume in its computations, so that you may apply this to a index such as a cash settled index of SPX or NDX, which does not include volume information, as well as Forex. Okay, so there's a lot of different ticker symbols for which the volume profile just does not work because it requires volume data, and that is why we're also offering a TPO version of this profile indicator. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a few slides here, and like I said, just give me a few minutes to show you what this baby can do, and if you like what you see here, then I assure you the rest of this video is going to be very informative and helpful. So the first slide I want to show you is just a blank chart. I've drawn some drawings here to show potential points of reversal in the markets. You can see on that chart, boy, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could understand that price was likely to reverse or get held up at these various levels. So let's go ahead and add some layers to this chart. And the first thing that I want to do is add in the volume profile. So you can see with the volume profile here, we have value area high, value area low. Those are the yellow lines with the shading. And then you have the point of control, which is the red dashed line in the middle. And you can see here that once the point of control is breached, then that point of control line changes color. And that's an important point to keep in mind, because with this upgrade I'm including the ability to track up to 10 recent unbreached point of control lines. Now we have some circles here on the chart that are not covered yet by volume profile, so let's go ahead and add another layer to the chart. And for this we're going to add the pivot points, R2 and S2. And you can see that things begin to really take shape, and you can understand now why I selected each of these levels, because in my experience, these are the levels that seem to be most effective. Now let's go ahead and add another layer, which is the daily moving averages. Again, those daily moving averages can be changed to weekly or monthly, and the idea is that these moving averages from the daily time frame are working in confluence with the other support and resistance levels on the chart. So there's an awful lot on this chart, so you can see why I didn't show you this chart to begin with. wanted to show you what it looks like without anything on the chart, so you can gradually acclimate your view to understand everything that's taken place. There's a lot more slides to show in this, and so let me just show you one example of the differences between the volume profile and the TPO profile. So here's a different section of the chart, and you can see these big yellow arrows that I've drawn at the value area low for 2 of the sessions. And the reason I marked those is because when we switch over to the TPO profile, you can see where those arrows move. And so here we go. So you can see now that those TPO profile levels are slightly different than the volume profile levels. It's not always going to be this dramatic of a difference, but it is a difference nonetheless, because they are using 2 different sets of data to compute the value area and the point of control. Okay, and that was completed in 3 minutes as I promised. So if you found any of that information helpful and it's intriguing to you and you think that this is going to be useful for your trading, then we can go ahead and get on with the rest of this video. So what I want to do now is introduce you to the website and the web page in which you may purchase these indicators. And the reason I'm taking you here at the beginning of the video is because I want to make sure you understand that we have 2 different indicators presented in this video. One is the volume profile, the other is a TPO profile. I want to make sure you understand how to locate those on our website and how to select the right ones to purchase. So you go ahead and go to Premium Indicators and select Thinkorswim Premium Trading Tools. And then you can scroll down here and you can see right at the very top we have the volume profile. SR stands for support and resistance. And then you have the TPO profile, support and resistance, side by side. And if you click on the demo video, that will take you to the web page that hosts the demo video. And from there, you will be able to get a link to this video as well as the playlist for the rest of the videos in this series, which I will show you here in just a little bit. I'm going to show you some of these screenshots, but before I do that, I wanted to go ahead and scroll down to the order form and explain how you can make sure that you purchase the one that you intend to. If you hover over the information button here, you can see the first 2 items are volume profile and TPO profile. Okay, you cannot select 1 and 2 at the same time. In other words, if you try to select both of these to buy the volume profile and the TPO profile, you won't be able to check both of these, because if you want to purchase both of them, then you'll check this box, okay, which gives you a discount, okay, and that discount is essentially 25% off both, or some might even call it buy one get one 50% off. Okay, so that's how you select the items for the order form, depending on which ones you have decided to purchase. I'll go ahead and quickly review our discount schedule here. Again, the discounts are only available for the purchase of one invoice. In other words, if you make a purchase today and then come back another couple of weeks from now, there is no additional discount. The discounts are only applied when items are purchased together on the same order. Okay, and the discounts are automatically computed as you select items. You can see the buy 2 get 10% off subtotal. If you add 4 indicators, then you get a 20% discount off the subtotal. So that is in addition to the discount for buying the market profile bundle if you decide to purchase other indicators along with this. One other thing I will show, if you have questions, like you want to see current screenshots of particular ticker symbols of this indicator, then by all means, check that box, enter in your comments or your questions, and then when you get down here to submit, you got to make sure to select this box right here, and that's agreeing to our privacy policy and terms and conditions, and then that enables the submit button. You won't be able to submit the form unless you hit that check mark. Okay, so let's go back now and review some of these screenshots as I promised. And we're only going to be reviewing the ones for the volume profile, because the ones for the TPO profile are essentially the same. It's just, like I said, a different indicator that uses price instead of volume. So this is the volume profile indicator. We'll go ahead and look at this. And now this is the one that really explains the theory or the mechanism behind this indicator. So what you have here in the magenta colored box is the standard built-in volume profile provided by Thinkorswim. And that's available to everyone that uses Thinkorswim. And if you go ahead and look over here at the cyan colored box, this is Hahn-Tech's premium volume profile. So what it's doing is it's extending those value area high, value area low, and point of control into the next profile period. You see, while that section in the magenta colored box is still in session, in other words, while bars are still being added to that session, all 3 of those levels are subject to change. And they will change until you get to the last bar of that session. And then it begins plotting a new one. Well, my indicator takes and picks up where that one leaves off, so that these levels now in the cyan colored box are fixed in place because they're based on a historical volume profile. Okay, so that's how it works, and these are static levels so that you can back test and on your own and learn which levels are going to be most useful for your style of trading and your risk assessment. The other thing I'll notice here is that you can see the point of control has been unbreached here. That purple line right there extends out, and it will continue to extend until the price intersects with that line or it is replaced by a more recent unbreached point of control. Now if we go to the next screenshot, you'll get a better view of that. And there you go. So now you can see that I've marked out some areas where the point of control has been extended forward that until it's breached. Okay, as soon as it's breached, that's when that line terminates. You can see that in some cases, as in these white circles, the point of control acts as a very, very strong point of resistance or support for price action. But also you can see in the magenta circle, sometimes the price just blows right on through that. So you got to be cautious about this and realize that these support and resistance levels are not solid block walls, so to speak. Okay, the market may move if it needs to well beyond any of these technical levels. So you need to take that into consideration when you're doing your back testing and analysis for profitable trades. And the next one that I'll show you here of the screenshots is that we also include another indicator along with this. This is called the Trend Igniter, and what it does is it plots red and green bars on the chart, and it also shows you some signals. So you see those white arrows there, those are the boost signals. The Trend Igniter, that's where the trend is being boosted by wide ranges. Okay, and you can see here we've got cyan colored arrows and magenta colored arrows to kind of highlight how those red and green bars are determining the trend. And you can see here how they intersect and interact with the various levels. Another thing I want to point out here is we have some signals here. I'll try to zoom in on this a little bit. Okay, you see those magenta colored wedge shapes here, okay, and some more over here. Those are indicating that there's potential resistance at that level. You see the cyan colored wedge shape over here, that's showing a potential support at that level. That's what those signals mean. And we've got watch list columns and scans as well for those signals, as well as the trend direction, as well as these levels. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the watch list column. I'll go ahead and zoom in on that a little bit. You can see here there are 5 different watch list columns included, so you can find out where price is relative to the value area high and low. You can find out whether or not price is currently intersecting with and being supported or resisted at a particular value area high or value area low level. And then you also can see for the same thing on the pivot levels, S2 and R2. We don't do anything for the general pivot point, but we do provide signals for S2 and R2. And then these last 2 columns here are showing the Trend Igniter signals. There aren't any on this particular view. And then you can also see the color-coded red and green showing the status of the Trend Igniter trend status. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and close that, and let's go back to Thinkorswim, and I want to pull in a screen here that will show you the list of videos in the playlist. So right now we're reviewing the first video in the playlist, which is Thinkorswim Volume and TPO Profile V4, and then these are the other videos in the playlist. Okay, so we've got one that's going to show you the supply and resistance levels in more detail. I've got more slides to show you in that video. And then if you view the video on risk reward drawing tool, I found a special way of using one of the built-in drawing tools on Thinkorswim to measure risk reward right on the chart by drawing it right on the chart. It's not a custom tool, it's just one that you can adjust its settings, and I show you how to do that in this video. And we've got installation and setup for those who have already made a purchase. So this is where you'll find out how to export the files from the zip file, load them into Thinkorswim, and apply them to your custom watch list columns as well as your scans. This video is for the settings, and so when you get to this video, that's where we demonstrate each of the settings for the volume and TPO profile and show you what those settings do when you make adjustments. And then the final section will be covering the scan and watch list columns so that you can see how those two work together to streamline your workflow so that you can identify particular price patterns using these indicators without even scanning through a whole bunch of charts. In other words, it just shows up on your watch list and helps you to more quickly evaluate profitable trading opportunities that fit your own investment goals. And to close out this particular video, I want to go ahead and show you the features, the main list of features. You also see the list of files that are included when you purchase the volume profile. All of these on the left-hand side, those are the files that are included with this. So you can see that you've got 2 chart studies, one for the volume profile, one for the trend igniter, and then you've got the scans and the watch list columns. And then on the right side, you see the same thing for the TPO profile. Again, 2 totally separate indicators, but they're very much alike and the settings are identical. Performance is slightly different, but you can see that we also have the trend igniter included with that as well. So you get the 2 indicators, the TPO profile as well as the trend igniter, as well as the scans and the watch list columns. The features listed down here at the bottom are essentially the same, so I'll let you go ahead and review those. You can go ahead and pause the video and read those as you like. That is the list of features. Basically, what those are describing is the stuff that I've already shown you already on screenshots. So there's a text version of that so you can kind of review that. There's a few other things that I'll point out. For instance, the pivot levels, okay, daily, weekly, or monthly, higher time frames. For the moving averages, you can select just about any higher time frame that Thinkorswim provides as a default built-in time frame. We'll show those to you later on when we get into the settings. And another thing I want to point out here is that items 1 through 3, okay, are included for the chart-based alerts as well as the support and resistance levels, okay, items 1 through 3. In other words, we don't provide scans or watch list columns for the moving averages because those are items that you can add to your scans or watch list columns independent of any indicator that I provide. And one final note I want to mention here, very important that you understand that there are certain limitations to the historical data for scans and watch list columns which limit which time frames may be applied for various options you may select. What does that mean? That means that on Thinkorswim, they limit the amount of historical data available for each of those tools, depending on what time frame you select. So you select the lower time frame, you have maybe 11 days of historical data from which to compute the values. And if you choose a higher time frame, then you get a little bit more time, maybe 9 months. So you need to keep that in mind, that there are limitations to the historical data available to scans and watch list columns, and that will impact how you make your adjustments to your settings, because you don't want to, for instance, select a weekly profile period if you have a 5-minute time frame. Okay, if you want to use a 1-week profile period or a monthly profile period, then you're going to need to select a higher time frame, something like a 1-hour time frame. And one last final thing I also want to mention, there are limits to how many custom quotes you can have in a watch list column. So many people have run into this, and we've covered this on our forum. I don't know what the exact limit is, but the more columns you add and the more ticker symbols you have, the closer you get to reaching that threshold. So there's a limit to the number of custom quotes that Thinkorswim allows you to generate on a watch list, and you need to be aware of that. And if you run into that limit, well, then you just need to reduce the number of ticker symbols or reduce the number of columns that you're working with in your watch list. Okay, that's it for the overview, guys, and I am really excited to present the rest of the material here in the following videos, and I encourage you to go ahead and click through those other videos and view those as needed, and help you to understand how to make the best use of this tool and understand how it operates and further evaluate how it might be useful in your trading. Okay, and I also want to close with this very important item that I usually include with my demo videos. This is a list of questions for you to ask yourself. These are just self-guided questions. I don't need the answers, but these are questions that are provided to help you understand whether or not these indicators might be a good fit for your trading. So go ahead and pause the video and take a look at these questions. Keep them in mind as you're viewing the rest of the video so that you understand whether or not this indicator is going to fit within your current trading methodology. Okay, that's it, and now we're going to go on to the rest of the videos in the playlist. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Take care.